You know, it's kind of wild to think about writing as a piece of technology, right? I mean, it's just a code, a system we came up with to trap spoken sounds onto a page. It's an absolutely brilliant invention. But let's be honest, sometimes that code gets super messy.
I mean, just look at English. You've got these words on screen, all spelled with O-U-G-H, but they sound totally different from each other. It's just chaos. Trying to guess how to say a word just by looking at it, it's a complete lottery. This is a perfect example of a code that's kind of broken.
So, what's the deal? Why is English spelling such a mess? Well, a big reason is that it's a total mashup of words borrowed from all over the globe. And trying to squeeze all those different sounds into our little 26-letter alphabet, yeah, it's a nearly impossible job. And that right there is the fundamental problem for linguists. How do you accurately write down a sound?
But imagine if you could just start over. Build a writing system from the ground up to be as logical and consistent as possible. Well, that's pretty much what happened with the Rabha language in India. Linguists got involved and helped create a writing system based on the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is, a system that's literally designed for one thing: pure logical clarity.
Okay, so let's check out the basic building blocks. Now, I know this chart looks a little intense at first, but don't worry, it's really just a map of all the consonant sounds in Rabha. And if you look closely, a lot of these will probably look familiar. See? You can spot the symbols for sounds like P, T, K, M, and N, sounds we use in English every single day. These are literally the Lego bricks used to build Rabha words. And what's really cool is this slide here shows the language in motion, actually evolving. So on the left, you have the native sounds, the original heart and soul of Rabha. But over on the right, you've got sounds like BH and GH. Now, those were actually borrowed from nearby languages. And this is exactly how languages work, right? They're living things. They breathe. They pick up new sounds from their neighbors. It's a similar story with the vowels. Rabha has this really clean, simple set of just 6 vowels. No confusing silent E's, none of those weird letter combinations we have in English. Each letter stands for one sound, period. It all seems so beautifully logical, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Everything we've looked at so far, that's just the surface. There's a whole other layer to this code, a secret that's hidden in plain sound.
That's right. Rabha has this secret layer of meaning that most of us English speakers, well, we never even think about it. And that secret is tone.
Okay, so what exactly is a tonal language? Let's break it down. Think about it like this. In English, if I say the word cat, it doesn't matter if I say it in a high-pitched voice or a really low voice, it still means, a cat. But in a tonal language, changing the pitch, kind of like singing a different musical note, can turn it into a completely different word with a totally different meaning.
And this is the absolute key, and this quote says it perfectly. In Rabha, tones aren't just about adding some emotion or emphasis the way we might do. No, they are a fundamental part of a word's very identity. It's just as important as swapping a C for a B to change cat into bat. It's an absolutely essential piece of the code.
And this chart right here, it shows you exactly how this works in practice. So look at that first pair. You've got the word spelled K-H-A-P, say it with a high tone, and it means to weep. But then you have K-A-P said with a low tone, and suddenly it means to be full. Crazy, right? Let's check out the next one. Same idea. Tak, said high is to make. Dak, said low is to shake. Just a simple little shift in your pitch, and bam, you've got a whole new meaning. This is that secret layer in action. Okay, so if tone is this important, how on earth do you write it down? Well, the solution is actually pretty elegant and simple. You use 2 little marks called diacritics. That sharp-looking acute accent, that means it's a high tone. And the circumflex, that little hat on top, that's your low tone. Just 2 tiny little symbols that manage to encode an entire new dimension of meaning. So clever.
But wait, it gets even cooler. These tones, they don't just sit there on their own. They actually follow this really precise set of rules, almost like a game. And it gets really interesting when you start adding suffixes, little endings to the words. Let's dive in and see how the rules of the game work. All right, let's walk through this step by step. First up, you start with a high-tone word, sakai, and that means pain. Okay, simple enough. Step 2, we're going to add a suffix, bi, which means the. Now for step 3, here's the magic. Because the main word had a high tone, the new ending gets a low tone mark. So it all comes together as sakaibe, the pain.
See? It's a totally predictable, rule-based system.
And of course, the system has clear rules for every single combination you can think of. Now, don't worry, you don't need to memorize all of this. The big takeaway here is just that it all follows this consistent, beautiful logic. And what that does is it guarantees that no matter how complicated a word gets, the tone can be captured perfectly, every single time. Which brings us to the final boss. Just look at this word, rupamay no nonga. I mean, wow, it looks incredibly complex, doesn't it? What you're seeing here is the entire system firing on all cylinders. It's one single word, built from a root word, and then this long chain of suffixes where each little piece changes the tone of the next one. It creates this beautiful wave of pitches that linguists call a tonal contour.
So the big question is, what does this magnificent, complicated-looking word actually mean? Get this. It means, I think it was really a snake. That's a whole sentence, an entire idea packed into one single word. And its meaning is held together by that intricate, rule-based dance of tones. It's just an incredible feat of linguistic engineering, isn't it?
So, okay, you might be wondering why we've dived so deep into the tonal system of just this one language. Well, it's because creating a writing system like this, it's about something way bigger than just an academic puzzle. It's about preservation.
You see, when you create a written code that can capture every single subtle nuance, especially something as special and unique as tone, you're not just writing down words. You're ensuring that an entire way of seeing the world, of telling stories, of being human, can be recorded, taught, and passed on to the next generation. This is how we protect a vital piece of our shared human story from just disappearing.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. The Rabha language showed us this incredible hidden layer of meaning, hiding in something as simple as pitch. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With thousands upon thousands of languages spoken on our planet, what other amazing structures, what other beautiful secret codes are still out there, just waiting for us to really listen?